Well, good evening to everyone. Welcome to VA Claims Veterans Helping Veterans Live Q&A. How's everyone doing tonight?
Fabulous.
Fabulous? Good. All right. We got a regular crew here tonight. Well, almost. We got our administrator, Stephanie. We got Blake. I'm Chris. And we're missing Jackie tonight. Of course, she's still across the pond, so she's a little hit and miss right now. So how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Great.
All right. We're going to kill a little bit of time here, Steph, before we allow people to get on. But I just want to tell everybody how this works right off the bat. So you're going to type your questions into the comment section. We're going to get you into the queue, and we're going to try and answer them in order. All right. If we have more questions regarding your question, we'll ask you live. And then if you can, type in some more information. So you want to make the question as clear as possible. If we can't answer your question live on air, we're going to ask you to email us to this email address, vacvhv@gmail.com, and that way we can get more clarification and get you guys a better answer. I hope all that made sense. Anyway, so that's how we're going to do that tonight. So, Steph, you got some stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, so while we're waiting on some people to join and drop their questions, I just want to make you guys aware that April is Military Sexual Trauma Awareness Month. And as an MST survivor, today I was in the studio doing a video that I'm going to put out as of April 1st. So be sure to check out that video, because if you are someone who is struggling with MST and you have not been rated for it, or you're looking to file an increase or anything to do with MST healthcare as well, then this is a good video for you to watch. As always, I encourage people that do not wish to be in a public setting that they can email me about that sensitive topic. So I was working on that. We've got a couple other great videos that are going to be dropping, one this Thursday, another one the following week as well. All informative videos to help you guys with your VA claims. Additionally, we're going to try and do another live in a few weeks. So again, we're here for you guys. So start dropping those questions. Don't be shy. You're behind a computer. None of us can see you. So put the questions so that we can answer them. As you know, we have Blake who gives his time as well. He's a retired doctor and he's a veteran. So his information and feedback is very vital to this live, and we appreciate that as well.
Can we say expertise? Is that too much, Blake?
You can say I've been called a lot worse.
To Steph's point about MST, I think she had a great point, is that you do have a voice, right?
Yes,
and
you do.
Like I said, there's no better person to talk to than Steph. So if you don't want to do it on here, obviously we totally get that. Email us. If you don't want Blake to know about it or me to know about it, that's fine too. Just tell Steph. but you guys do have a voice and you have a good advocate and staff. So she's the perfect
I'm
person to
actually,
talk to.
I'm actually having a consultation tomorrow with a lady who is going to have her CMP exam for MST on Friday. She's very nervous, and so I'm going to have a one-on-one conversation with her. So just so you guys know that Blake and I do consultations when it's needed and if a veteran wants it. This particular one is going to be just myself and the female veteran. But we do consultations. They're a 1 hour one-on-one, and it kind of just allow us to focus with the veteran and kind of get that more personal feeling. Because sometimes you can get on here and you can drop a question and we can't quite answer it or know all the facts. So
There's a lot to put in a simple comment.
yeah,
Yeah, emailing.
And
Sounds-
sometimes we had one last week where we picked up another condition that the vet has not even thought about applying for, just because I'm sitting here watching what he's doing.
that is true. So it sometimes can be beneficial to do a consultation.
So Blake, you got a visual cue from the console?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty
What
awesome.
I didn't tell Chris that, but
Yeah.
I forgot about that. What he saw the veteran doing, he asked the veteran a question, which led to Blake saying, well, wait a minute, this could possibly be due to service. And he was like, really? So, yeah,
Well,
just
that's
by
pretty.
his, yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. Well, we got a couple of questions in the hopper. You want to get going? And
Well, let's go ahead and put up the disclaimer. Let's get
got to
that
do
out of the way.
disclaimer. Yep, got to do this. All right, here we go.
All right, guys. VA Claims Veterans Helping Veterans is not an accredited agent, VSO, attorney, or entity recognized by the Department of Veterans Affairs and is not affiliated with the VA in any way. We do not assist veterans with the preparation, presentation, and prosecution of VA disability claims for VA benefits. This Q&A is solely for guidance purposes and should not be considered as medical or legal advice. So real quick, before we get into the questions, I see somebody that is giving us a thank you for helping veterans and supporting veterans. And that's a gentleman I've been talking to. I was telling you about that tonight, Chris. So, hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming on and checking this out. I kind of wanted him to see what we do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go.
All right.
So, Bronson Strange, I will be filing an appeal myself. What can I do to ensure that my POTS and unemployability due to undiagnosed syncope
Syncope.
syncope that is still being investigated are approved this time?
Okay.
That's easy. Talk to your doctor. And be sure that your physician or your provider notates in your record that you are unable to work at this time due to these issues, and have him list out all of the issues. If you actually have a diagnosis of POTS, have him spell it out. Most people don't know what POTS is. Have him list the symptoms.
Okay, can you explain what POTS is while we're here? Just for because we don't know.
Yes,
The
please.
postural orthostatic tachycardic syndrome means you get a fast heart rate, you pass out, you're fatigued. There's a number of things that go along with it.
Okay.
Dizziness, headaches, nausea, sweating, chest pain, anxiety. It's all of that wrapped up into one.
Okay. Well, there's a couple things going on here as well. First of all, he wants to file an appeal. So, in order to file an appeal, the claim had to be previously denied. What was in the denial? I know you're not going to be able to answer that on a Q&A here, but most importantly, you got to understand why it was denied and how you're going to go ahead and attack it in an appeals formation. As in, are you going to be filing an HLR, which is the higher level review, or are you going to be providing additional new evidence to support a supplemental appeal? Secondly, you're claiming unemployability. So if you're trying to file for unemployability, are you rated at least 70, 80, or 90% currently? Or do you have something under the extra scheduler? And I said all that for you not to answer here tonight. What I'm just trying to get you to understand, Bronson, is that if you're going to be filing an appeal yourself, you need to make sure that you have the evidence to support the appeal because you've already been denied. So there's a lot of things to unpeel to peel here, right? So my suggestion is if you need us to further help you and review what is going on, email us at our email address, provide the decision redacted of personal information, and then also provide us your overall disability percentage. And then let's see if we can try and help guide you down the right path on the appeal. And also, how long has it been since the denial? Because you have a year to in essence appeal the original denial. I hope all that made sense.
Okay. One thing we're going to get out of the way right now. Someone's asking the Doge question. We have no information on Doge and how that is affecting claims or anything like that, if it is at all.
Where's Doge? Where's that one at?
Marcus Williams, in your opinion, has Doge affected the claim process time?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's a political question. We don't go there.
And
We
we
don't
wouldn't
go
have any
there.
metric to judge that by anyway. We don't know.
Let me just put this out there. This platform that we do here, guys, is a little bit different than other platforms. We are here to try and answer your questions regarding healthcare and claims. So if you have something related to that that doesn't go towards the politics, we're happy to help you guys.
All right. Next up, Sky High. I just found out I was diagnosed by the VA doctors with chronic PTSD, recent major depression, and general anxiety in November 24. What should I do next? The process makes me feel so overwhelmed, I'm considering paying a company to help me.
Okay, well, first of all, where is that question again? Can you pop that question back up?
It's the second one in the comments.
Okay.
Sky
Being
High.
diagnosed currently by the VA is great. However, now you need to prove it's due to service. So, if you've been diagnosed with chronic PTSD, what trauma in service has caused your PTSD? If you have that link with your current PTSD linked to the trauma in service, then you should go ahead and file a mental health claim. Now, what you can do, since you were just recently diagnosed, is you can put in an intent to file, also known as an ITF, while you're continuing to gather evidence to support the PTSD claim. Encompassed with, what was that? Major depressive disorder?
Right.
Is that right? So you could go one or two ways. You could go ahead and just file a mental health claim and let the VA determine which mental health is your primary and which one is due to service. Because a PTSD claim is a different mental health claim. While it's still under mental health, it is a different and more complex claim because you have to, in essence, prove that something traumatic occurred in service. Now, I don't know if it's due whether to combat or a personal trauma because you're just saying chronic PTSD. So again, you're going to need to know those elements in order to move forward. But my first suggestion is to put an intent to file in for now. And just so I want to just nip this in the final bud. Yes, Marcus, military is political. Absolutely got it. We're not going to go political here on anything that's in the news currently. If you have a question for us regarding any type of claim you are trying to file, we are happy to answer it for you. Okay.
Hello, all. My wife is 40% for tinnitus and IBS. Do you know if sucrose deficiency can be secondary to IBS or combined with IBS?
What is sucrose deficiency?
I've never heard of a sucrose deficiency.
Well, you don't know what that is?
No.
I've never heard of it either. Well, now I'm looking. Hold on. Sucrose deficiency. What is that? So it is a genetic disorder that affects the body's ability to digest sucrose, sugar.
Yeah, it's a certain type of sugar.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have never heard.
Because it's genetic. I doubt that it's
Yeah,
going to be able to be
be,
claimed.
so my first gut instinct is no, especially like what Blake is saying, because it's genetic.
Even though it may not have been diagnosed until late in life. Um,
I've never, if
I
you've
don't
never
know
heard it
how.
as a doctor, that's
I
interesting. So,
well, it's one of those genetic things that's usually diagnosed in kids early on. It's usually done through a children's hospital type thing.
and it does,
How she got into the military with that and not have had issues with it.
yeah, because that could be considered pre-existing because it does say
Yeah.
it is genetic in a childhood. So, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, you're just asking to open that IBS up and not have
Yeah.
it
Have it looked at too.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't cause for military service, is basically what that is, right?
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a genetic issue or you even have a pre-existing issue and you go into service with it as a pre-existing and service aggravates it, you absolutely can be rated for it. But it doesn't sound like that question is based on
Many of the symptoms, from what I'm looking at, many of the symptoms of sucrose deficiency syndrome can be mistaken for IBS. Take your IBS rating and go with it.
that. And if she's rated at 40% overall with tinnitus and IBS, I mean she has the max at 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. David Gardner, neuropathy is presumptive? Question mark. Doctor says I have myelopathy. For the doctor that is online, is myopathy presumptive?
Well, it's not a presumptive condition. Well, first of all, neuropathy is not presumptive. Neither of these are a presumptive
Yeah, that's what he
condition.
was asking. He's pretty much asking, is it presumptive?
What he is possibly thinking of while Blake's looking up some information is the radiculopathy, like when you have your back and you file a claim for your lower back, the lower left and right extremities are supposed to actually be looked at for radiculopathy. But neuropathy is not a presumptive condition to service.
Yeah.
And then what is the other condition?
Myelopathy.
Myelopathy.
No, it is not a presumptive. It's the deterioration of the myelin sheath around the nerves.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm not sure where you thought, David, that neuropathy was presumptive, but
No,
it
he was
is
asking,
not.
there's question marks.
Cushman.
There
Yeah,
is
it's not.
there are some chemical exposures that can cause some neuropathies, but I don't think it's listed in it's not listed with any of the presumptives.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Flippin' Nickel Productions. I had my VES appointment a week and a half ago. How long should I expect before the VA notified me? I knew it could take up to 6 months.
So if
You
you
just answered your own question.
just you kind of just answered your own question, but the contracted facilities have a certain amount of time to return the exams back to the rater all go through these kind of like um, processes back to the queue. They get rerouted. So the answer to that is, yeah, it could take 6 months, or it could be tomorrow. It also depends on what the exam was for, how many claims you have pending. If it's just one claim and one exam, I can't see it taking that long. But if you have multiple claims and you have multiple exams, then it's possible it's going to take a little bit.
We turn down the how long question day in and day out because no one can tell you. There's too many variables that include the workload in the regional office to the workload of the individual rater that you're assigned to how long it takes the doctor to some docs fill out their DBQs and turn them in the same day. Some of them take all 30 days that they're given. And I know VES, I think, does quality checks on a large number of those. So even though they've finished the work and turned it in, then it goes to a VES quality check, which can take up to 30 more days. So,
Right, and like Steph said, it also depends on what are you claiming? How many things are you claiming? All that kind of stuff. It's
is
just
this is this
variables.
something is this something that they're going to have to ask for a medical opinion on as far as a secondary? Because that's another in-house step that it takes to go. So nobody can really tell you how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
All right, Don Frazier. What hard is it to get a rating for migraines secondary to tinnitus? Also, are vertigo and tinnitus being considered as one condition now and not being separately rated? Thank you.
You talked to her about the migraine secondary to tinnitus?
Um, it can be difficult. You will definitely need a nexus letter for that one. Um, the issue with vertigo and tinnitus being rated separately
Yes.
or together, if you have hearing loss also or a fullness, then you need to start asking about a diagnosis of possible Meniere's because that has a separate rating as Meniere's as opposed to individual ratings for vertigo and tinnitus.
Right. But to answer her question for vertigo and tinnitus, yes. To answer the question about migraines secondary to tinnitus, we get this question asked a lot. And while the VA has a rating code for both migraines and headaches, they are two different things. And so, from a doctor's standpoint, Blake, we
All
have,
headaches are not migraines, and all migraines are not headaches.
right.
Just
And
remember that.
we've seen veterans get service connected for migraines secondary to their tinnitus. But what it boils down to, Don, is you need to have a strong nexus connecting the two, whether it's coming from your primary doctor, from your neurologist. Because if you have migraines, am I assuming you're seeing a neurologist or not?
Possibly.
Possibly, right? The other thing is, include medications you're taking for migraines. Do you have buddy logs for your migraines? Are your migraines so prostrating that they're taking you out of your everyday realm to include social and work? So all of those things are in encompass, but what you need to prove is you need to prove that your tinnitus is causing your migraine headaches, and that's going to
Well,
require
they can cause it, or they can also aggravate it.
or
The
aggravate it.
tinnitus
Yes,
can aggravate it. They don't necessarily have to be a cause, just that it can aggravate it and make the headaches worse or
yes.
last longer.
Okay.
All right. This is David Gardner again. He's like, according to the web, neuropathy is presumptive conditions for veterans who are exposed to herbicides during service and currently rated for cardiovascular disease as a result of exposure to AO.
Agent
Okay.
Orange. So
And
yeah, like I said, there are some toxic, uh, but I didn't know that I wasn't sure if they were included in the presumptive areas. Depends
sorry, I
on
didn't know he was in. service for Agent Orange.
Yeah. So if you were in that Southeast Asian theater, um, during those times, was it up to 72? Is that right, Stephanie?
I think so. I think it was
Yeah,
72.
prior to 72, then there's a good chance that yes, you could use that, but you're probably going to need a Nexus.
Here's the other issue is
Well, if it's
neuropathy
presumptive,
has
you
here's the issue is what I'm reading is neuropathy appearing within 1 year of herbicide exposure
right,
in veterans exposed to AO or other herbicides, meaning they don't need to prove a direct link to service. However, they still have some presumption. So um, I'm not very familiar with this
if this is something that started in the last 5 years, I'm going to say they're probably not going to consider it presumptive. But if it's something you've been fighting for years and years, yeah, they probably will.
Yeah, I'm getting frozen here. Sorry, we're having a little bit of difficulty here. But that's why I was talking about it. If was I don't know if he's responding. Let me look down, but
He just
I know
said he just said he's a Vietnam vet, and I know there's a
but
lot of presumptives for Agent Orange, but like Blake said, is it is this
well
recent?
here's the other thing. Agent Orange is an exposure. You have to show that that exposure is causing whatever it is you have currently to get the presumption. So being exposed to AO doesn't necessarily mean it's an automatic service connection. The AO, Agent Orange, is an exposure. So, like what Blake is saying, and he's saying he is a Vietnam vet, if he's just now having that diagnosis, I think it's going to be very, very hard to link that to AO.
Right. Because herbicides usually are typically, when they cause it, it's fairly quick onset.
Right.
It's something that happens within months.
Well, hence the year time frame they put on that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Organophosphates are the big one, and that's what AO is.
And again, it's still saying that the condition has to have manifested within 1 year of the exposure. So I feel like that's, I don't know. David, if you want a little bit more help and you want to send us an email, we can try to do a little bit more digging into this. But you can email us. Happy to help. But he's saying, okay, so what he's saying, his heart condition is linked to AO. I absolutely understand that. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. Because that is a condition as a result of the AO, the Agent Orange exposure. So I understand that. This is a little bit different. So I think we
But
need to,
the neuropathy typically comes on fairly quickly
yeah,
after exposure.
that's where we're kind of a little bit unsure, but just a quick little bit of information that I'm looking at. So again, David, if you want to email us, please do so, and we'll try to help you a little bit more.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain to the VA why it waited 45 years to show up.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, next question from Stephanie. Ooh, Honey Carrera.
Honey.
Hi, for a SCAR DBQ appointment related to pain, how is the pain measured? Is it just if it's sensitive, or does it have to be a certain level of discomfort? Thank you.
Okay. Did she have another follow up to that, or did I miss that? Nope, just it. That's it.
Well, she did. I didn't mark it. Nope, no follow up.
There was no follow up to her. Okay. All right. So let me answer that, Stephanie, from Stephanie. I'm rated for 3 separate scars. Scars are typically 0% unless you can show that they're unstable and painful. What I mean by that is to the touch, they could be painful or they're unstable. And Blake, meaning unstable when it comes to a scar. meaning
They
the
continue
surface.
to they continue to um, weep, bleed, um, scar tissue
Scar tissue
drawing.
buildup.
Yeah, build up of that. So those are all unstable factors.
Correct. And then the painful aspect, Stephanie, is regarding yes, if you touch it, it's painful. If they are that, then you can be rated 10%. That's the only rating for it. So it's either 0% or it's 10%. What I see the VA do a lot, and they've done it to me, is they rate them at 0%. I've had to appeal my scar ratings to get them at 10%. Now, the rating code for a scar is 7804.
She's
And
saying something about this irritated by tight clothing. Would that count?
Yes.
yes,
The question is, are you a keloid former? Where are the scars?
where are the
Is it
scars? That's my next
yeah?
question.
You know,
Yeah.
is it in a bra line? Is it in a waistline? Is it
Is it on the
in
face, the neck?
where your shoes or your collar hit it? So those are all those. You know, are you a keloid former?
Because that's what I'm referring to is I'm referring to scars that are on my foot and my ankle and my toes. If this scar is somewhere else, like on your head, your face, or your neck, then they're going to be defined by characteristics. And I believe, off memory, one characteristic I believe is 10%. But it would be helpful to know where the scar is actually located.
Yeah, we'll give her a chance to respond here.
Yeah, because there is several. Okay, abdomen. So
So
that's on the body.
She's saying keloid.
waistline, or
But
Is
there.
keloid like a buildup, Blake?
yeah, keloid. We see keloids a lot in African American skin. It's where you'll see it's just a very large bump uh, type thing, runs the full length of the scar usually.
Right, and it's also on a body part. What I was referring to, well, it's still on a body part, but I was referring to the foot, the ankle, the toe. So yes, the answer is it's also going to go by size, it's going to go by pain, it's going to go by shape, the affected area of the body. So if does she what was her question again? Does she have an exam or is she what was her question originally?
Yes,
Does
she's
the
got
V-
a DBQ appointment.
Okay, related to pain. Okay.
She's asking how it's measured. So, and then obviously the clothing affects it, and she has scar buildup or keloid.
So for the,
It, typically, they're going to ask you to put it on a pain scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst pain you've ever felt. I can guarantee you right now, if you go in there and say that your pain is a 6 or above, they're going to roll their eyes.
yeah. Um what is she saying? Her gallbladder and what, Chris?
Yeah, she's saying gallbladder and hiatal hernia surgery feels like they might have used same sites, but it covers most abdomen due to 4 entry areas. So she's got a
Yeah,
rating of
shit.
0.
Oh, so she's currently
So
rated
she's
at
ready.
0.
So yeah, you just need to go in there and tell them what makes it painful, you know.
So
And
you need to
I
go in
wouldn't,
and do what I did.
yeah, I wouldn't say tight clothing. I would say if it's in your bra line, you know, when clothing rubs against it, because there are physicians out there that will say, well, don't wear tight clothing.
Well,
Well,
I
and at
think
the end,
like for like women too, like pantyhose is a big one. If they wear
Right.
leggings, especially she
Right.
says it's around her abdomen, you know,
Yeah.
that that could definitely be irritated.
So, but
well,
yeah, just let them know that what irritates it and that it hurts.
well, and the other thing too is when you go in, since you're already rated at 0, what you need to do is discuss how painful it is. But like Blake said, obviously if you go in and say like it's a 10, it's not going to be believable. Just go in and talk about how the scar affects you on a daily basis. Be honest. Let them measure the scar, because that's what they're going to do again, and they're going to evaluate you for this increase. But now it makes sense where she's telling us where it is, because I'm
Yeah.
always thinking it's, it's the foot, it's the
Mm-mm.
ankle, or it's the toe.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Hey,
They're all.
Daniel's on.
I
Hey,
was gonna say they're
Daniel.
all four of her scars are gonna be maybe an inch to an inch and a half long at the longest, but they do wears her decision to wear, how long she's gonna be out, all those things weigh into it.
Right.
Laughing guy had to chime in. He's chilling in the hot tub.
Even though he's from the hot tub. Man, we drained ours.
It's getting too hot.
Hey, Daniel, I hope all is well. Long time, I haven't heard from you either. John was saying hi to us earlier too. So we love seeing everybody coming back. We love it.
All right.
Okay.
Chris Hanley, are they
Oh,
considering the effects of, okay, look this up, aqueous film forming foam on disability ratings?
so right now, the VA does not recognize any conditions currently presumptive due to AFF. You still have to prove the exposure has caused a current and chronic disability. Now, is that going to change in the future? Like so many things have with the VA, where they drag their feet and take forever to finally say, oh, yeah, well, you didn't have this when you came in service. And then what you were exposed to, well, yeah, now we recognize it is an actual presumptive disability. So hopefully that is going to come over time, but it does unfortunately take time. So as of now, anything regarding the AFFF, you're going to have to prove you have a chronic condition and it was due to that exposure. Now keep in mind, under the PACT Act, there is what's called TARA, which is the Toxic Exposure Risk Activity. So keep that in mind as well.
All right. Sherman Barker, I filed a condition in 2016, got denied. In April of 2024, got service connected. Can I backdate to 2016?
Nope. Because you did not appeal that 2016 condition or denial, excuse me, within 1 year of the denial. So since you reopened it in April 2024, you reopened it with new evidence. So therefore, that is your effective date. But congrats on getting it service connected. That's good news.
That's good news.
Yeah.
All right. Hair metal revolution.
Yes.
Currently, I'm rated at 70%. I have 6 claims submitted at this time, and in order to reach 100% rating, many of these claims need to exceed 40%. This situation is quite crazy for me to get 100.
Oh boy, you need to
Not
stand
everybody
by.
gets 100.
Okay, do you think the VA form 2010207 can actually speed up your claim if accepted by the VA?
Is that
That's a
is
hardship,
that
I
a
think.
is that a hardship? Let me see. Requesting priority processing of your claim due to qualifying circumstances. Well, I mean, you can submit it, but unless you're on the brink of homelessness, about to be financially ruined, the answer is no. You're going to be in line like everybody else. Um, it is a hardship, yes. Um, Going back to your 70 to 100, so one of my upcoming videos here in the next couple of weeks is on VA math, because VA math is not basic math. If basic math was what we were using, every single veteran would be 100%. That's just not how it works. So I
It's
know,
discount math.
I know everybody thinks VA math is nuts. I get it. But you have to understand it, and I can't wait to put. It's funny when I start thinking of videos to put out that I start getting these questions surrounding it. And I do have a really good analogy that's in the Facebook group on VA math. So if you're in our Facebook group, you should check it out. Just search VA math, because VA math, again, is not basic math. It is basically based on you being 100%, and then you start chipping away at your entire body as to what gets disabled, and then so on and so on. So being at 70% could mean you're either rounded up to 70 or you're rounded down to 70. And that is, like you said, going to take a lot of disabilities to be service connected. But if you have the disabilities, file them, because you deserve to be rated for what you incurred in service. You also can have secondaries. But yeah, John Hernandez, pizza math. It's a pizza. I love that. That is my next video.
The pizza man.
John's in our group, and John helps out a lot. He is a great asset to our Facebook group. And it is, and that's exactly how I'm going to be explaining it in my short little video, hopefully coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But I do have a great post on it, so it's very helpful. But again, if you've got the claims, file for them.
Okay, John actually answered this one, but I wanted to put it up there. What do Veterans Affairs reference mean? Number 397 EC. It's on my paperwork.
Okay, what's the answer?
So John says it's the 397 is probably the Washington D.C. DROC station. And
Yeah, that's what
the
I was
initials are EC. That's who worked on your claim.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because on my rating code sheet, there were, or not my rating code sheet, I'm sorry, on my decision letter, and like many others, there is sometimes initials. So that makes perfect sense. It's probably the regional office that processed your claim, and those are your initials of the rater that actually processed it.
All right, next up, Shemp Howard. My code sheet said static for all conditions and no RFE. Is this common nowadays for almost all conditions?
Well, it's going to depend on the veteran. So not every two veteran are the same, right? So your rating code sheet is defined based on your disabilities that you were granted, and based on the severity and whether the VA thinks that they are going to improve or not. With you having all your disabilities static and having no routine future exams, because that's what RFE means, basically that means the VA doesn't see that any of those disabilities are going to improve. Now, there's a caveat to that, and I have a great video. And Chris, if you could, please drop that in the comment section about the 5, 10, 20-year rule. That is regarding your ratings. They are only protected under the 5, 10, and 20-year rules, meaning the longer you have a disability rated, the better off you are. Now, that doesn't mean that the VA is going to look into all your claims. What it does mean that, and what I've seen by a lot of veterans, that is when they go to file additional claims, they file for something, but it has nothing to do with, say, another claim. But all of a sudden, unfortunately, sometimes the VA does look at your entire claim file. So that's why this video is a really good video to watch, because like I said, it's on the 5, 10, and 20-year rule. I also have another great video on my YouTube channel on routine future exams. So
All right. We got Tim in DC.
okay.
Just submitted a claim after I used my full ITF period with 15 conditions. As I missed listing a few additional conditions, should I wait for the existing claim to resolve before submitting more?
Yes, put in another ITF and leave it alone. You've already submitted 15 claims under that ITF. Let those claims process. Put in another ITF right now and let that sit. You have up to a year to go ahead and file again under that ITF. That was an easy
Yeah.
answer.
Blake normally checks me. Did I miss anything?
Don't
Love
think
said,
so.
okay, thanks for answering. My case is in a remand from the board judge.
What was love? My case, what is that?
He's the one that was asking about the code.
Oh, he was asking about the code.
Right.
Oh,
The
okay.
the EC.
Right. So I'm wondering if he had a prior appeal
Yeah,
then or
so
something.
John's answering again. This is
Okay.
John. This is John's answer
Drop.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. The drop. Yep. Which is a decision review officer. Oh, come on, John, answer it. The decision review office center. I can't remember what it is, but that's what I thought. So it was previously. So it's been a denied claim. It's been denied through appeals, and now he's remanded to the judge.
Decision
So
Review Operations Center.
okay, I was close. All right, I was close. What
It's
can I
just
say?
another acronym.
All these acronyms. I tell you, if the VA did away with acronyms, boy, would we be what ifs. But anyways, is
Well,
that
we
it? Is that
be
all our questions?
everything out loud, just everything. Um, it looks like that's it. Blake, like I
If
said,
you
normally checks me on this.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them. I don't see anything else that we missed.
if you have any questions, now is your time to drop them so that we can answer them. I see you. I know you're watching. So
I'll hang out for a couple minutes here, but yeah, if there's no more questions. I did put the video for the 5-10-20 rule in the comments section. If people
okay.
that.
Yeah, we have quite a few good videos out there, guys. So be sure to check out the YouTube channel. We have, like I said, we have the routine future exam as well. And then there's a couple other ones on the difference between 100% and static. So a lot of those words are thrown around the veterans community, and a lot of people don't understand what they are. So these videos are informative to help you.
Um, here's hair metal again. I'm not sure if there's a question in here. I regret
Okay.
not receiving education on disability 2 decades ago. My Raynaud's condition is currently at 40% with headaches. I have learned that the headaches should have been a separate rating.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah. What is that condition?
Raynaud's, it's a autoimmune disease.
Hmm.
Um, it's a connective tissue disorder.
Okay. So they
But
encompass.
yeah, headaches. I would say headaches should have been probably separate. Now the question is, if you open it up as a separate claim, does your actual rating say Raynaud's with headaches,
Yeah, that
or
and he
does it
said
just say
2 decades ago.
Raynaud's?
So I'm wondering 20 years ago what the 38 CFR was in regards to that disability rating, because a
Well,
lot of things have changed.
remember, he's got 6 claims submitted at this time.
Uh, oh, is he the one that's with 70% right now?
Yes.
Yes.
So he's got a lot of stuff being claimed. And he does say, yes, he does say that.
Okay. So it does say that, Blake, with headaches. Well,
Okay.
I wouldn't worry right now about regretting anything. You've got additional claims right now. So see where those go and then regroup from that point as well. Um, I did notice that Love said that the judge requested the VA to correct the error. Okay. So that's to me, that's where it kind of gets entangled where when you go to the judge, sometimes the judge will remand it back to the RO, which is the regional office, for additional information to clarify something, to correct an error. So that's what sounds like what's going on, love, and hopefully that's going to be a positive for you. So he's saying the VA is not giving me an update, and the VA requested medical records 2 times that I sent in. Okay, so you're you're with the judge. I understand the back and forth is probably frustrating, but it does sound like they are trying to do things regarding the appeal. Without really seeing the history and without really knowing much about what's been going on regarding the remand, it's really hard to say other than just stay the course and trust it, and hopefully you will get it granted. I've been to the judge several times, and I have been fortunate, and mine have been granted. I know it's frustrating. I
It's
know.
frustrating.
I know it's frustrating. I know any claim is
The
frustrating.
timetable's frustrating. The math is frustrating. The CMP exams are frustrating. They don't make it
Yeah,
easy.
the going to the judge, going remanded, coming back, going back again. Then, oh, by the way, you need a new CMP exam because your CMP exam over a year old. I get it. I understand. But at the end of the day, there is going to be light at the end of that tunnel. So just stay the course, try to be calm, and just breathe and
The
just
good news,
let
you'll
it.
get backdated pay.
Yeah, the good news, that's a great point, Chris. The good news is you continue to appeal the original claim. And there was one veteran that we helped, and was it $350,000?
Oh
It was
yeah.
more than that. It was more than that. It was
It was
way up there.
it was substantial.
So
We were
2018, he said he's been working on this.
Yes, there's going to be, and keep in mind, I just got to throw this out there. As long as it's granted and it changes your overall percentage, there's back pay. So you got to keep that thought in your head. But that is a long time. So hopefully you're almost done, love, love. I like that name,
All
love,
right.
love.
So we're bouncing around here again, but hair metal revolution. Part of the new claim is the headaches and migraine.
Oh
Have we lost the thread on that one?
no,
So
he said
that may open up his Reynolds to reevaluation also.
yeah. So that's definitely going to be looked at. I'm not I'm not under I'm not understanding why you did this because headaches have a 10, 10, 30, and a 0, 10,
50.
30, and 50.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I would have touched this, but and it's with headaches. So now the VA is definitely going to look at that because you're now filing for a separate claim for headaches to be rated separately. So I'm just throwing it out there. And the other thing is it's been 20 years. So there's a bit of a caveat there. If you've had that for 20 years, you've got that 20-year protection under the 5, 10, and 20-year rule. So he might have a little bit of protection there, especially, and they may just flat out deny it and say he's already got headaches because um, you can't be rated for them separately. What we're
All right.
bouncing around here. What's
Yeah.
going
Now
on?
we got. Oh,
Reynolds has a 10, 20, 40, and 60% rating.
Well, that's per the current 38 CFR. So what was,
Right.
we're going to, right. So it's just food for thought that opening up a claim for headaches, they're potentially going to look at it. They could separate it. They could give him headaches separately and go back and look at a Renaud's. But again, if he's been rated, like he said, for 2 decades, that's a lot of protection. So I saw something from John. He was talking about mental health. He asked us a question. Oh, did we lose Blake?
we lost Blake.
We lost Blake. Maybe he'll come in. I saw something here, Chris. Oh, John was like, what's the word on the new mental health ratings? The last thing I saw, John, on that was the proposal back in February 2022. And every year since then, numerous platforms telling people that, hey, the ratings are changing. The ratings are changing. Now, this is not only the mental health, it's audiology and respiratory. The latest word that I've heard is the end of this year, but I've heard that before. So until we see it in concrete from the VA, I have no idea. So we just go with the course right now. And then Daniel, he said something about Daniel Dirks about the
Well, hold on. We got Nell here, and
okay.
if they ask for docs at step 3, and I've uploaded, when will the request go away? They said the deadline was 3/31,
Okay.
and then John said
Don't worry about it. It's internal.
3/31 tracked item will expire, and then it'll be in queue again to work further.
Right. So
Should we have
everything,
John on here?
yeah, John's great. He's in our Facebook group. John, keep coming back every time we have a live.
Right.
So what a lot of veterans see on their portals, all that is internal notes. While they're there, I know they confuse a veteran. They are internal notes. So
And stop looking at it, because there's nothing you can do to change any of it.
no, if you've submitted what you need to submit, do not worry about it. Like John said, it's going to go away. And then another step is going to come in. Just like when you see a CMP exam and then it says exam requested and then it says no longer requested. Well, that's because the VA has requested your exam. It's been ordered. Therefore, it's no longer needed. So then you will get your exam. Those are all internal notes. Okay.
So Daniel left us hanging. Do you remember what Daniel was working on?
Yes, I
So
do.
glad that I followed your advice. It was a long wait, but it sure was a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So something good happened because I know he was waiting on something.
So Daniel and Pam, they're longtime listeners. They're the ones basically, he had a claim and he was being helped by a company that wasn't helping him. And he was going before the judge. And basically, I found out that this corporation was basically leaving him out to dry. And the only thing he needed to ask the judge was, why did I not get my CMP exams? And so by asking that simple question, started the pathway to him getting his disabilities granted all the way back to 2005. So he had been fighting that. This is last year. He'd been fighting for like 7 years, actually longer, 8 years.
I asked him, like, don't leave us hanging, but he hasn't replied yet. I just kind of wanted to hear
That's
the
what it
gist of
was.
it.
But I see what he's asking another question up there on the 510. Do you see that, Chris?
Daniel is?
Yes. If you scroll up above John Hernandez at Love about Brock's. Yeah.
On the 5/10/20, like my claims were backdated to 2015. When does the 5/10/20 start?
So that's where you need your rating code sheet, Daniel. Once you look at your rating code sheet, and I have yet another video on how to obtain your rating code sheet. Please watch it, guys. You need your rating code sheet. It will show every disability that you are rated with, the month and year you were rated, and if you have filed for increases over the year, it will show each of those increases. So just a quick education on this. If you have PTSD and you were rated January of 2013 at 30%, the clock starts for that 30% at that time. Let's say we fast forward to 2015, January of 2015, you file for an increase. You get it to 70%. The clock has now started over for that 70% in 2015. However, the 30% is still protected as of 2013. So it's just a little bit of education there. But Daniel, I highly suggest that you get your rating code sheet so that you can see your rates, your rating code sheet, the actual code, the disability percentage, the disability, and the month and year. Okay.
So love is the VA information number. I'm assuming that's the 800 number. Have no information on my status update. Is that normal?
If they have no information to provide on the status, that could be typical. You may just be sitting waiting in limbo. You may be in the queue, you may be at a regional office, no, it's nothing. There's nothing to worry about.
Somebody's got to let things just play out. Yeah.
Yes, you'll be fine. What did John say? Step 7 and 8, baby. What was he talking? He's talking 100%. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yep. So.
Okay. Your worst enemy. What is that?
Huh?
Your worst enemy.
If the VA needs something from the veteran, they'll request it via the United States
Oh,
Postal.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna use USPS. Yeah.
They are. That is true. All right.
So I think I'm good, Blake. You gonna check me on that?
I think you are too. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are.
All right,
guys.
guys.
So if we don't have any more questions, we're gonna wrap this up. Just a reminder, we're gonna do another live Q&A on April 15th, tax day. Oh, somebody just has a question. Or is
John.
that just
John's just posted out
Oh.
some wisdom.
Oh, good. Yes. So anyways, we're going to try and do another live Q&A on April 15th. Some of us have some things to do, so we're going to be MIA for a few weeks, and then we will reconvene here on April 15th.
What's coming out Thursday?
What is coming out Thursday? Well, SMC.
SMC.
That video is coming out on Thursday. So be sure. Oh, thanks, Laughing Guy. We appreciate it.
Laughing Guy's always helping us out. We appreciate it, man.
Always helping us out. We totally appreciate the donation. So yeah, SMC video.
Thursday SMC video. This Thursday SMC video.
Yep. This Thursday SMC video is coming out, and then April 1st MST video is coming out. So be sure.
Following that is going to be IU TDIU.
Yes. And
so
then
we got videos coming out.
And then I'm going to try and get that VA math out there because I know that's a stickler for everybody. And I love the pizza analogy.
Well, we actually figured out a way for you to draw it, so that's going to help them. We're going to do a live.
Oh yeah, we can see this, Blake. I'm gonna scratch away the pizza.
Yeah.
We've been trying to play with the iPad.
We're going to make it look like a crayon.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it.
Just don't eat it, Chris.
I'll try not to eat it. I'll lick the screen.
Lick the screen.
So
Like,
thanks
for all you that's for all you Marines out there.
All the Marines out there, right? So thanks everybody for coming on. If you have any questions, like I said, email us at vacvhv@gmail.com. Make sure to join our Facebook and YouTube group, VA Claims, Veteran Helping Veterans. They're both the same name. So subscribe to both, and we'll see you on our next live. Bye everyone.